Daniel here from TwinBytes with another tutorial for you guys, and looking at why your hard drive might be the cause of your performance issues on the computer and how you can test the speed of your hard drive. Coming right up. Alright, so if you have a look at your task manager, whichever way you want to open it on your screen, I like to right click on the taskbar and go to task manager, but you can also do Control Alt Delete on the keyboard, or what they call the 3-finger salute, and open task manager. Once you have that open, you'll be able to see between your processing speed, how much memory is being used, and hard drive activity. You'll maybe have other drives showing if you got more than one drive in your system, including external drives connected. And if you see the performance, it shows the percentage of disk, how active it is, and you can also see the chart going along. So right now the hard drive in my case is really not doing anything. The memory you can see is going steady along, and the CPU is up and down, which is normal. Now if you look at the hard drive and it's constantly running, it's got something going in the background. But if it's running and is closer to 100% constantly all the time, then there is something that's slowing it down. It could be some software in the background, but it could be that the hard drive just simply isn't spinning fast enough. So we can test the speed of the hard drive using this utility. Now, just a quick disclaimer beforehand, you may need to boot the computer into safe mode just to be sure that there's not a lot of other stuff running getting in the way of an accurate result from the test. So this way you'll know the true speed of the hard drive when you do test it. So let's move on and do the test. So if you do a simple Google search for Parkdale speed test, as I have done here, you'll have this website show up here, the-sz.com/product/Parkdale. Now you could just go directly to this website as well. I'll have the description in the link below. Now when you go on this website, you're going to see the Windows version of it that you can download as a zip file. Also, they have command line. They have it available to test your Mac hard drive and even on Android. Now in my case here, we're on a Windows machine, so we want to download that, and you can save it and open it. I've already got it downloaded. Now you'd also have a video playing in the background, which if you scroll down a bit, you'll probably see Eli here is doing a video. So he's done a video on this previously. Now I've got my download here. I'm going to launch Parkdale, and they do have a new version which looks a little different here. But either way, whichever version that you're on, if you go into the C drive, if you want to test C, or you can test any of the drives, you can choose what file size you want to test from. Now, a general one that was being used before is 1,000 megabytes. You could go with 4,000 if you want, and it just gives it a longer test to give you a better average. And you could choose the block size as well if you're going by 1 megabyte or 64 kilobyte, which is the Windows default. Now, I've been going with these and sticking with 1,000 since that's how the default I've been used to, but you can try both and see what the results are. So as I'm talking here, we'll just have a look. Now this is on a solid state hard drive, so of course it's going to be wicked fast compared to anything else. But if you look at these speeds compared to an average regular hard drive, we would have maybe 80 megabyte per second for a sequential write, and about 80 megabyte per second for a sequential read, comparing to the 300 plus megabytes that I'm getting. Now for random, usually we may get up to 3 megabyte per second for a random write speed. As you can see here, I'm getting 45. And also the random read, we might get half a megabyte or 500 kilobyte per second. And here, of course, you can see I'm getting 23, so a lot faster. It also gives you the reads for the input output per second, as well as how many milliseconds it took to do that response. And of course, the lower the number in milliseconds, the better. So it's a lot faster response, and the larger the IOPS, the better. So, and obviously these numbers, the higher the better. So this is how you can test your drive speed. Now if I wanted to, let's just stick with the C drive again, and just for the sake of it, looking at these numbers, we're going to switch to 4000 megabyte and a 1 megabyte block size and see what the speeds work out to, if it's going to be close to the same. Of course, we're giving it 4 times the amount of data to go through and a lot bigger block chunks to run through to test. So we're getting some different results here. And it obviously is taking 4 times longer with 4 times the size. Now the numbers don't look as impressive as you can see here. A little sad as far as the write speed goes, but the read speed seems to have responded much faster with the block size, because it's just reading instead of writing to it. Now with the random speeds, you can see that they're close to what they were previously, so it's not bad. Now it's just the comparison. When you want to test a drive, you really want to stick with the same benchmark. So that's why I've always been sticking with 1000 megabyte for the file size and 64 for the block size, which is the Windows default, how it actually operates. So here we're testing it on a different level, and that's not normally how Windows runs. So if you're going to be testing various hard drives and you want to see what it was before and after, make sure you're sticking with the same method of testing, and I would recommend sticking with the same program. That's why I've been using Parkdale for a long time now, and whenever I'm testing a customer's hard drive, I try and stick with this, so I know over time, after checking so many different hard drives, I know what the averages are, I know what's normal, and I know what's good and bad. And usually this will actually show you in a red color for sequential write and read if it's bad, versus green if it's still acceptable. Now that's all there is to it for testing your hard drive speed. So if you have a regular hard drive and you're getting under 80 for sequential speeds, then you might need to look at getting a newer hard drive. And if you have a solid state, well, the numbers can be quite off the charts. 300 megabyte is not that fast even compared to what some of them can go. And it really depends on how much you spend on that solid state drive. That's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate if you enjoyed the video to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. It encourages me to keep making more videos, as well if you can comment and let me know what you would like to see for a next video, and I will be sure to try and mention you in those videos as well. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.